Welcome to the Crooked Stripes Podcast, where your hosts discuss various aspects of lawn care, landscaping, and snow removal. Let these two friendly Canucks help you cultivate a different outlook on the green industry. And with that, here are your hosts, Brendan Brubaker and Martin Hodder.
Good morning, everyone. Wow, that's some kind of an intro, eh, Martin?
Makes us sound almost like professional. Like we know what we're doing. Like
that's what I was
pretty
thinking.
Good.
That's a little too fancy for us, but we'll roll with it now that it's done, right?
Yeah, we'll make it work. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. We're back for episode 2, everyone. Thanks for all the positive feedback we got, all the messages over the past couple days. We both really appreciate it. So great start.
Absolutely.
Great
at least
start.
People are listening, kind of making it worthwhile. So
yeah,
at least we're on the right track anyways.
Yeah. We committed to do this the whole year, so we got to keep it going now.
One down, 52 left or 51 left.
Yeah. Geez, that's a lot, but no, it's good.
We'll be all
it's
right.
been fun. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, we have a really good episode today. We interviewed Tom O'Brien from Oxford Lawn. He's down in the Villages in Florida. That was really, really good stuff. We were talking about he's getting into top dressing and lawn rehab work. He's kind of getting away from the lawn mowing, so that was really good talking to Tom. So we'll get that going in a little bit here, but it's just me and Martin for now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Tom's was really good. It was super informative. And even like we do some of those services, but just some of the depth and everything he goes into. It's like it'd definitely be worth the listen if you're trying to get into that line of work or anything along those type of lines, right? So super smart fella. It was really good.
Oh yeah. I know we'll be implementing a couple things this year because we did a lot of top dressing jobs last year around here, right? Because the winter beats the lawns up around here, so you're always rehabbing them. So yeah, and it all comes from that EcoLawn spreader.
Yeah, because you rented that a few times, didn't you?
Yeah, I rented it twice or so, and it was great. Took 9 or 10 yards of topsoil, top dressing, and spread it around. I was done in half a day.
Yeah,
on my own.
Wouldn't take that. Wouldn't be that quick if you weren't rocking a machine for sure.
Oh yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
no, that's good. Yeah, and we've had some snow, in Elmira past week, so I went out
too, didn't you?
Yeah, I even got out there. No, it was
but
good.
It wasn't for you though, right? You were helping one of the boys.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mike at Elmira Lawn and Landscape, his grandfather passed away, so he asked if we could help out a bit, and obviously we're gonna go for it. And I wanted to get into it. I wanted to try it out, so it's like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity to test things out. So no, we went out last week, just got up super early and went out and banged out 26 driveways. So that was a good time. Nice. It was a good day.
What were you guys using for that?
So we just used some little snow throwers.
And then the single stage ones?
Yeah, the single, which they actually work much better than I was expecting.
Yeah, they're kind of deceiving, eh? You just use little things, some rubber paddles, and the next thing you know, it's throwing snow like 15 feet.
I know, and like you can sprint with them.
Yeah.
It just sends it.
Yeah.
So, no, that was good. And then he has a Kubota. He's got the Kubota stand-on skid there with the box blade. So when it's really bad, we just pulled that thing out and used it. So it was a good experience.
So you trailered it around, did you?
Yeah, we trailered it around, which was interesting.
How was that in the snow?
It actually wasn't too bad.
No?
And like we're not driving far in between, right? So it was just in Elmira. But put the truck in 4-wheel drive, was fine.
There you go.
But
that wasn't too bad. You got your first little experience, and now
it was good.
See what happens next time, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. See what we can do for next season. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. But you had some snow. I seen you out a couple times.
Yeah, we did. We got 2 small ones this last kind of week or so, and but the weather's just been so strange. Like we get snow, and then rain, and then it's warm, and then it's like we got, I think, what was it, Wednesday? It was 15 centimeters of snow, then 10 mils of rain. It went from -7 to +5 to -10 that night. So it's just the
Wow.
weather's just making a mess out here, right? But so,
Yeah.
it was good. We got out. We got a few storms in there, a couple scrapes, anyways. Just kind of
Yeah.
get the guys out and scrape some
Nice.
stuff around, anyways. And then had a sanding the other day as well, which was good on some of our apartment buildings. We'll go around and it's kind of just for safety reasons, right? Just some of the main laneways and around the main buildings and stuff. We'll hit
Right.
those, give them a little blast, get some sand down, and
Okay.
go from there.
Because you don't use salt, right?
Some people here do. We don't
Okay.
use, a lot of our contracts call for like a salt sand mix. So it's almost like a pea stone, almost kind of coat it in like salt, like it's mixed with salt, stored. It really, how it works really well for us is like the salt will melt it off, but a lot of times it gets too cold, so it doesn't
Right.
work as efficiently. So when we have that salt sand mix coated, what it will do is it will melt into that top layer of like kind of ice or snow or whatever's left, melts into it and then freezes on top. So then it kind of provides some traction that way
Okay.
versus just kind of trying to melt it all off. But that's what we've kind of had luck with. And a lot of customers want that anyways, versus just the salting. And the price difference out here is pretty crazy. We're like probably 4 times the price for a load of salt versus sand mix.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so it's a pretty big difference that way, right? So
use the sand if you can.
and
Get
a
away
lot
with
of we
it.
have a lot of like gravel and stuff too, like gravel driveways and parking lots and stuff. So
Right.
especially our apartment buildings. And the problem with that is when the salt melts it, you're gonna get into like the sand will melt on top and like go on top of it, kind of melt in.
Right.
But if you melt that off, then it's just turning to muck, right? You're kind of softening
Yeah.
everything back up. So that's why we do sand.
Okay.
It's just
Yeah,
it's a little
that's
messy,
smart.
but
Right.
it's just
It works
it's
for
efficient
you
and
guys.
it works for what we do. So it's just kind of the way
Yeah.
we rolled it. So
Oh, that's
but
good.
hopefully we'll get a few more snowstorms soon, maybe something a little bigger, because all we've had is like 10 centimeters. So,
Right.
like, we haven't really got to put the new tractor I got to the test
Yeah.
yet. So
Right.
really interested to see how that will kind of kick off once we get going with it. But for the most part, like it's been working well, but it just hasn't really had a
Yeah.
full test yet.
You're right. Just pushing slush right now.
Yeah. Probably run a
Yeah, I know.
squeegee on it some days.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Put that on the cutting edge instead.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
But
Okay. Nice. Oh, that's all right.
yeah.
Cool.
So-
Yeah, I had a couple hockey games I reffed this week, so I did 2 high school games. They're both 9-0 blowouts, so not the most, fun, but
Yeah, not
Whatever.
that exciting to watch for anybody
Still a
in the
good
stands, I
time,
guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
still a good time getting out there for a little skate, so no, that was good.
Yeah. A little better exercise than pushing snow blowers.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was hurting after that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Probably weren't used to it, right?
Well,
And
I
especially
wasn't-
after
no.
being off work for like
I know.
'cause you guys been like a month basically, I guess, a little longer,
Yeah,
I
like
guess,
a
since you
month.
did it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So to go from nothing to
I know.
lugging snow blowers and everything, but
I know. It just knocked me, and it was like it was pretty mild. So it was
wet
cold
and
in the
heavy.
morning, and then started getting warmer. Then I started sweating a bit, and then it started raining and getting
Mhm.
warmer. So then by the end of it, I called you after, and by the end of it, I was just soaked,
Drenched. Yeah.
just drenched. So yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
no,
I think it was it Tyler that had the video of him scraping slush
Yeah,
down the driveway? Yeah,
the
pushing
slush.
a
That
puddle.
that was our last one,
Yeah,
and that's what it looked like by the end of the day. Just it was gross, but
yeah, but
whatever. We got her done.
At least you got out and got a kind of a feel
Yeah.
for it, and
No, it was good to see how how other guys do it too, and
yeah,
I get some ideas of how I would do it. So
Mhm.
I'd love to be able to offer it someday, because I did I do like the idea of me and my guys being on our properties year round,
Yeah.
rather than you're getting someone else on the property. It just, I don't know.
you
gives
always
an
run the risk
uneasy-
too, right? If someone comes in to do the snow, that they might be doing lawns too, right? I mean,
Well,
although
exactly.
your customers probably aren't leaving just because of that, but like it's just
Still.
allowing somebody else the risk to come on there and maybe take
Yeah.
it from you, right? So
Yeah, everyone
'cause
wants
a lot of customers want that one-stop shop.
Yep, totally.
So
I know. Definitely businesses too. They want that.
yeah, because you like
So
even with your commercial mowing, right? Like it's kind of
it's always I know I'm always battling, and all the snow guys around here that do commercial plowing, they
Mhm.
all do commercial mowing,
this.
right?
Yeah, so it's kind of
So I'm always
makes it
battling.
tough.
It's tough, but oh well, it's a good challenge.
Yeah. Oh, you've been hanging on to them, so they
I
must be
know,
happy with
yeah.
the mowing at least.
Yeah, like I don't think I've lost anyone over the years. A couple that, you
Move
want
or-
to
yeah.
lose maybe,
A
but
couple that you just kind of
Yeah,
chew along too, right?
shoe
But
along. But yeah, no, we've kept all our businesses, so I'm pretty happy with that. So
good stuff.
try to be the quality guys in town to, make yourself a little different.
Yeah, like to
But
stand out. But
I know.
that's
so,
good.
Yeah, man.
Who knows? Maybe next year we see a tractor or something with
Maybe
little
next year I'll
brew horse down the side.
Yeah, there we go. A big orange Kubota.
Yes, let's go.
That could be cool. No, I'm sure I could put it to work in the summer too, right? So
Yeah. Like I said, especially if you find like a good like size machine, like a good balance. Like
yeah,
I know we talked about like 40, 60s and stuff like that, where it's
yeah,
it's still fast enough where you can road it around
Yeah.
from property to property, but in the summer you can still put the loader arms and a bucket on and use it to do some mulch or do a little dig out or
right.
even get an implement for the back that you can run on it, like a box blade or something too, right? Which would be a huge little add-on for you.
Yeah, that would be mint. Yeah, I was looking at that 4000 series Kubota, and I was thinking, this is enough. That's enough power to get the job done easily to do driveways.
Yeah.
So
and it's nice too. You could see like a bunch. I know we looked at a few. We were talking on Instagram and stuff that had the 40, 60s and stuff that running the inverted blower and a little blade on the front, and they were handling the snow fine.
Yeah, like Nick Snow. Is that what he has? All those? He's got.
No, he's running the John Deere 4066. And they're similar to mine, like the 6060.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'd be a little.
Size.
Yeah, it'd be
Bigger.
a little smaller, I think.
Yeah,
I think they'd be like the 3500 series. John
Okay,
Deere. I don't know
see.
John Deere. I've never really ran.
No, I
any
know.
of them.
Same. I know.
So
John Deere's a no-no in the Brubaker family. No, my cousin and my uncle, they're farmers and they're big white tractor guys, and they never it's called a white. It's an old tractor.
Oh, really?
Manufacturer, yeah, and they run whites. I know, and it was always no to John Deere growing up. So
there you go.
It's funny how that works, eh?
Yeah, there you go. To see if you can get one of those to start driving around.
Yeah, I know, right?
Get a little blower or something to fit on the back.
Premier equipment is like I can see them from my bathroom window. The biggest
and they're
John
a huge
Deere.
John Deere dealer, aren't they? Yeah.
Oh, they're huge around here.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Who knows?
Oh, do a little shopping and see what happens.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, we'll crunch some numbers and see if we can figure it out for next winter.
Yeah.
So, I know. Yeah.
But if not, I'm sure you'll find yourself something to keep you. Keep you busy.
Oh yeah.
Because you had the little thing too. Now. You had the little thing too, didn't you, with the doing a little reno stuff or something? You mentioned some dump runs and things like that. Or
we were
working on.
We had them lined up, but then it's a retirement home we look after.
Oh,
they had 3 rooms that kind of got flooded.
Mm-hmm.
So then they needed them to be gutted and, just clean them up. So then we were I was going in there to check them out beginning of last week. And then everyone got COVID apparently. So then it was like, all right.
Yeah. Shut her down for a few weeks.
Come back
in February sometime.
Right. 10 days. Like, okay. So I'll roll in there this week and see what's going on.
Yeah.
See if we could get after that. Yeah, if we could just do a little bit of that, to end off the year. Because it's already January, 3rd week of January.
It's crazy how fast this.
I know.
Like these last month and a half, it just flew by.
Right.
Like
and we'll be able. Yeah.
You'll be back.
We'll be able to
soon,
start.
right? Like April.
Yeah. Oh, I think last year we were at the Elmira Golf Course working last week of March.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's pretty good.
That'd be nice.
Well, so I'm thinking, I think we can do it again.
Yeah,
It seems like
we're
the snow is
usually
gone.
like we're a little later than you guys. Like we usually start our cleanups and stuff like the probably middle of April, I guess. Because our
Yeah,
snow
right.
contracts too, right? Don't technically end until the 15th. But
Okay, of April.
so we try not to do too much before that in case we do end up getting snow, because
Yeah.
it's nothing for us to get a snow late,
Oh,
like
I bet.
middle of April or something. Like I think the latest I've ever plowed was like April 27th or 28th.
Wow.
And it was the worst, terrible day. Flew home
That's
from
brutal.
Mexico the night before.
Oh,
So it was like 35 degrees in Mexico. It took, by the time we got home with our 3 connecting flights and everything else, it was like 24
yeah.
hours later. Finally get home, go to bed, and then my phone starts ringing at about 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, what is this? Go outside, look outside, probably 10 inches of snow on the ground.
wow.
People panicking, trying to get out of their driveway, all this stuff. I'm like, it just went from from 30
Yeah.
to like minus 15. I'm like, it's a 15-degree swing. Still might have had a bit of a hangover, like just getting over it.
I'm
And
sure you
then,
did.
Boom, there it is. Time to
Yeah.
go plow.
That's
But
that's a quick turnaround after a
it was
week
rough,
down south.
but
Yikes.
yeah, that was definitely the latest. And it just happened to be right after a week down south. But hey, is what
gotta
it
do
is.
it.
That's what you sign up for when you go into winter
guess
and
so.
plowing.
Yep. You're right.
Yeah,
Huh.
definitely a time commitment, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
Yep. Cool. Well, shall we get into this interview with old Tom?
absolutely.
Let's do it.
It's a good listen. Definitely worth, it's about an hour or so, but definitely a good listen worth kind of going through there. Maybe take some
Yeah.
notes and see what he says. And like he said, same with us. Like reach out to any of us or him. He loves talking about that sort of stuff and gladly will help
Yeah.
anybody with that.
Yeah. Tom's
So-
a great, knowledgeable guy. He's been in the industry for a long time. He's
15,
done a couple
16
different
years, I think he said. So
yeah,
Yeah.
he's done it all. So learn a
Yeah,
lot from a
and-
guy like that. So
and
Yeah,
even
I
check
totally-
totally at Oxford.
yeah,
Right? Oxford Lawn? Yeah.
Oxford Lawn. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I totally botched the intro for him. I called him Tom Oxford.
I mean, you're kind of right.
I know. I have it in my phone as Tom Oxford, but his name's actually Tom O'Brien. So
Yeah.
anyways,
close
that's
enough.
a good. I was gonna cut it out and went, nah, it's funny. So
No,
if
no
we
cutting
can get a
stuff out
couple
here.
laughs in my expense, I'm okay with that.
I'm sure over the next little while there'll be lots of them
Oh,
between
yeah.
me and you.
Oh yeah, love it.
Yeah.
All right,
So-
guys, enjoy the interview with Tom. We'll talk to you later. Hello, everyone. We are back, and we are with Tom Oxford down in sunny Florida. Tom, how's it going today?
It's going well. It's Tom O'Brien with Oxford Lawn.
Oh yeah, Tom O'Brien. Right.
Now,
I always mess that up.
no.
I know. I always mess that up. Yeah.
Come
And we
on,
have our
Brandon.
Well,
we
let's
have
go.
our yeah, I know. And we have our lobster loving buddy out east, Martin Hodder. Martin, how are you?
Good, buddy, and yourself.
Oh, I'm just great.
And I don't eat seafood. You're 0 for 2 today.
I know it's a tough day.
Yeah.
Restart.
Yeah. Restart.
Oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
No restarting here.
We thought we'd get Tom on. We were in a bit of a group a couple years ago together, so really like hearing
Excited
from
to
Tom.
be here. It's going to be fun. Wow.
Yeah.
Glad
Our
to have
first
you
one.
on, Tom. First
Yeah.
one.
I'm honored to be the first guest. I say that.
Yeah. We are honored to have you on. So no, if you don't mind just letting everyone know a summary of your business and where you're from and what you guys got going on down there, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we operate down in Florida. We're like almost right dead middle of the state. It's we live in a town called Wildwood, but we service a giant retirement community. It's called the Villages. I believe it's the world's largest retirement community. It's huge. It's like a city of its own. That's where we service all of our customers. We don't work outside that little community anymore. Just chasing our money left and right from people that were getting services but didn't want to pay for them. So we stay within the Villages now. We started about 16 years ago. It is now 2008. I bought. All right, let me back up a little bit. We used to live in New Jersey. We had an auto repair shop and a gas station up in New Jersey. We got tired of that business because the auto repair business was just going more towards dealer service cars and not independent shops like we were. So we decided it was just time to sell out and get out. And I was done with the whole business and wanted a change in life. And my wife's family lived down here in Florida. So we ended up, long story short, we're in Florida. Didn't want to do lawn care. I didn't want to do auto repair anymore. So I just looking around, didn't know what to do, talking to different people. And because the area that we're in, it's all retirees and they don't want to do any kind of services on their houses anymore. And there's a huge market out there. So we decided to get into lawn care. Our house wasn't done being built yet when we came down to Florida. We had to live at my mother's house, who was in the Villages. And I talked to the gentleman that was servicing her street doing lawn care and started talking to him. I was kind of bored. I said, hey, can I run with you for a little while and see what it's all about, see what it's like? I've never done lawn care before. He said, get in the truck, let's go. I did. And about 2 months later, he started telling me how he was trying to build the business for his son. His son wanted nothing to do with the business. And he's like, I wouldn't be opposed to turning it over to you. I'm like, well, let's talk numbers and let's see how this all works out. He only had about 30 lawns at that point in time. We worked out a deal, bought it from him, had a year to pay it off, all the equipment, the truck, the trailer, not the truck, I'm sorry, just the equipment in the trailer. And we took it from there. And when we just built all that over the years, we started doing irrigation repairs because every house down here in Florida has, well, not every house in Florida, but every house in the Villages has a irrigation system. So there's a lot of repair work there. They're made of plastic. The heads are plastic. They're sitting in the Florida sun. They get brittle. The heads pop off and break. So there's a lot of work there. And then over the last few years, we started getting into the lawn rehab work because all the yards are starting to fall apart because it's just sand and clay underneath the sod that they laid down for new construction. There's no nutritional benefit left anymore in that sand and clay. The yards are starting to crash. So we started doing some research, talking to people, going and seeing other operations work, getting our research done, and started doing compost top dressing and helping these yards come back to life with some good organic material. That has taken off.
Yeah.
That has exploded. We've done great with that. We'd probably talk about that forever.
Yeah, that's definitely something we want to talk
I don't know how much more we talk here, but anyway.
Yeah, keep going, man.
Giant lawn mowing business. By the time, as of December 30th, the end of last year, we had 380, give or take, lawn customers.
Wow.
Lawn mowing customers.
Oh, wow.
That was its own little monster right there.
No kidding.
Then the repetitive customers, because we do irrigation maintenance, but we also do service calls every 6 months to make sure the system's operating properly. Nothing has broken, heads popping off, geysers all over the place. So those repetitive customers, that snowballed, that got big. So now we had the giant ass, sorry.
I'll
giant
love it.
Lawn mowing business. You can have that.
Oh, no.
So we had the big mowing business, the irrigation started getting really big, and then we jumped into lawn rehab, and then the results were so good with that, and we had the good equipment. We just invested big right off the bat because we're already established, so we have some capital behind us. So we just went balls to the wall with that. And what happened with that, how that got so big so fast, is all the fertilizing companies down here. They only do fertilizing. A couple of them do fertilizing and lawn mowing, but most of them are just fertilizing companies, and then there's lawn mowing companies. They're separated.
Okay.
They started to see the results of our work. So then they started telling the customers to call Oxford Lawn to get your lawn aerated and top dressed with compost and all the other work that we do to help a lawn prosper. That exploded in like 1 year. That just became a monster of its own. So we didn't know what to do. We were stressed out, unbelievable, too much work to do. Employees became an issue. The whole employee pool is not what it was 3 or 4 years ago. That's another whole podcast right there. So we ended up selling off the lawn mowing aspect of it because of the weekly restrictions to our life. We're getting later on in life. We want to go travel and see things and have our own schedule and work when we want to and not when we don't want to. So the gentleman that was running the mowing company for us for like 6, 7, maybe 8 years now, all the customers knew him. He was great. He just got on He's like in his late 20s, just bought a house. He's looking to get married and set his family up. And he helped us out for so long. We're like, let's just set him up for success.
Nice.
So we worked out a number. We set him up really great price. Gave him all the, we didn't give, don't, I'm sorry, let's not go there. We sold at a really good price. We didn't give.
Yeah.
All the trucks, the trailers for the lawn mowing, the mowers, the equipment, the customer list. And he started that entity under his own company name that he started. And we still have Oxford Lawn operating under the irrigation stuff and the lawn rehab stuff. So that's where we're at now. That happened December 30th, 10 days ago. Boom. All that stress
changes.
Yeah. Was it? Yeah. You're still smiling. Was it hard to part ways with your walker mowers?
We still have them for the, we don't have the mulching mowers. We have the collection mowers that we use for the dethatching of the yards and the what we call short cutting.
Yeah, I've seen you do that.
Zoysia grass. You can't dethatch it with a power rake. Those tines flailing around so fast, they would damage, because zoysia grass grows like little palm trees. Just picture a bazillion little palm trees next to each other.
Okay.
So a power rake would come along and take a chunk off the stalk or take a chunk off the tree trunk in a little turn. And then it damages the grass and just stresses it out even more. Whereas with the walker mowers, we do use that stationary rake on the front of it, the tines that you've seen. I think you actually have one, don't you?
Yeah, I got one too.
Yeah. So we'll use that if needed to break up the matted down, thatches down. But mostly we're just cutting into it, cutting it short, and vacuuming all the stuff out.
Okay.
So it's not a mechanical, invasive, damaging procedure. We're just cutting the grass short in steps, coming on down in steps, and just vacuuming all the crap out of there. And if there's a spot that's stuck and we can just see the thatch is like stuck to the mud, we'll hit it with a stationary rake and break it up and suck it up that way. So yeah, we're still using the walker mowers in that aspect because there's nothing.
Nice.
Are you able to do that in one pass, like with the stationary in the front and then the bagger coming over, or do you like dethatch it all first and then run it to bag as like a second kind of?
Honestly, each yard is going to be unique.
Okay.
Some companies are telling me there's a big storm outside, and there is. Some companies mow too tall because that grass likes to be short.
Right.
So it depends. If the mowing company I'm talking about, if the grass has been mowed excessively tall, it would take a couple passes.
Okay.
But generally, we're able to do. I'll do it in 2 passes. I'll take the top layer off just to open it all up. It helps everything dry out underneath. The grass to stand back up because a lot of times it's all matted down and woven together. And then once we take that top layer off, then we'll put the rake on the front of it and hit the areas I feel need the rake. Then we go back and take the rake off and just drop 1/4 of an inch to get that nice seal around the deck that creates that nice suction. So we drop in that one last 1/4 of an inch to get that final cut, and that's when everything gets ripped right out from underneath and all the thatch comes up.
Gotcha. And I think Brandon's the same way. Like we run that northern grass, so we usually have like Kentucky blue, that sort of stuff. And we cut that on. I know I cut on probably around 4 inches. So I assume you are nowhere close to that. You're probably 1.5 to 3. Oh, okay. So it's not that different then, I guess, height wise. But
we usually tend to cycle it. And mostly because all the residents that we service are from up north. They want that fluffy, tall grass in the summertime. It's like, I'll work with you. We'll give you the summertime fluffy grass. But in the wintertime, we're going to strategically cut it down, like one step at a time, cut it down and open it all up and break it all. Break up that matted. When it gets tall, it starts to weave itself together. I don't know how it does it, but it weaves itself together and pulls itself down.
Okay.
So we're just breaking all that back up, and the grasses stand back up. And in the springtime, they have a nice lawn again.
And are you guys cutting all year round?
Yeah.
Or so like in the winter and stuff, is it still weekly, or is it kind of spaced out? Might be every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or just kind of
2 weeks. It goes for a 3-week span around Christmas and New Year's because there's some vacation time that goes on in there. So there's a 3-week span in there. But generally from sometime in March, it depends on the season, like when it starts to warm up. But by April 1st, we're going every week. Although I'm not doing it anymore. They're doing it every week.
Yeah.
But the mowing season is generally every week from at least the latest April 1st to about the middle of October.
Okay.
Then we start backing it down to 10 days. And then by November, it's every other week.
Mhm.
And then, so it's generally about 36 cut years, what we base it off of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
you're still, we're nowhere close to that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I was talking to someone else about this the other day. Like our first cut is usually the middle of May until October. So it's a pretty,
By the end of June.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bit, bit
a little
different
short.
cut-wise, but, and I think you had a video up the other day. I know you talked about the lawn rehab side. Like I know me and Brandon, we were kind of super interested in your Mulch Mate that you use a lot for
Yes.
that because we seen that down at Equip. But are you still doing that all year, like year round as well? Like, is that?
No, we don't do it. Like right now, January and February, we're not doing that work because of the chance of a frost or a freeze.
Oh, okay.
We don't get snow. We don't get that stuff. We might get one or two nights of below freezing temperatures. And I don't want to shortcut into a yard and stress the hell out of it, and then
hit with a freeze.
and have that unexpected freeze.
Gotcha.
So pretty much we stopped right around Christmas time.
Okay. So you're running basically March till, so you're getting about good 10 months of doing that.
And then now we're just doing irrigation repairs. All the customers that have the recurring services to check them all out. We're just filling our schedule with that stuff.
Do you do the irrigation installation as well, or just the maintenance? No, just maintenance on it?
Just maintenance, yeah. I don't want to be digging holes and running pipes. And we don't have the equipment to do that, honestly. And there's enough work on the maintenance side for the customers that we had and still have. It's actually, most people are trying to get work. We're actually trying to control the growth. It's an unusual situation.
Nice.
Just the growth in the area is insane. Just that one community alone called the Villages, they advertise they're selling 300 to 400 homes a month.
A month?
Wow.
They sell 300 to 400 homes a month. New homes, new construction, and there's just not enough service companies down here anymore to service all that. And
how many houses would be in that area
That's
if they're selling that
nuts.
many a month? Like,
the thing is,
it must be growing like crazy.
it's massive. It's like 20. I haven't measured it in a while, but when I would go on Google Maps and measure north to south from where they started and where they are on the southern, because it's like a big triangle, a vertical triangle.
Okay.
So it's like 20 miles north to south, and I think it's 6 or 7 miles wide east and west.
Okay.
Just rooftops. It's just all rooftop. House.
Okay.
There's some golf course. That means a lot of golf courses mixed in it too. And stuff. I don't know. Last I heard, I think there's like 120,000 residents. And
that's bigger than my entire city I live in.
there's only 2 people per house. At the most, there's 2 people per house.
Wow.
So figure that. So there's like,
60,000 houses?
60,000, 80,000 houses growing at 300 to 400 a month. Now, the problem is, and if I'm getting off track, just tell me to stop and shut up.
Oh, no,
But
keep going.
the problem is they're buying out thousands and thousands of acres of farmland. And that's where all the younger people would live, the people that could do the service work and be of age to be out there mowing yards in 90 degree, 100 degree temperatures. But now the retirement communities are coming in like a forest fire running through a fire, and it's just like a cancer running through. It's not bad. I didn't mean that's cancer, but
Yeah.
just running through and forcing and displacing or buying out or whatever happens, all the of age people to do the work. So now there's not enough of age people to do the service work, which is why there's not enough service companies to service the number of retirees moving in that can't do the work. So when you have an influx of seniors coming in that either don't want to do the yard work or the shrub trimming or any of that stuff because they're retired and they just have earned the right not to do it.
Right.
But yet everybody that was of age to do that work was put out by you, moved off, or just relocated somewhere else. Who's going to do the work? So
it leaves a pretty big void.
It does. It actually just came to head about last year. I mean, we've been doing this for 16 years. It was getting worse and worse and worse. And then COVID came and things got really silly and happened. But last year and the year before is when we started seeing a huge shortage of service companies. And my phone has been ringing all day long and turning down 10 or 15 houses a day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie, you're you're giving me some ideas here to slip down there in the winter, right? All this,
So it's either you make the
yeah,
move, you don't make the move.
I
But
know
we're
it'd be
all,
one or the other.
yeah, that's a good thing too.
Yeah, right. I do hate the snow up here, but
No, I don't miss the snow. We used to do
No,
snow plowing and all that stuff when I was up in
yeah,
we had a
okay. So
couple
you know the
plows.
drill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's fun for about 2 hours, and after that, it's just absolutely.
Yeah,
It goes downhill.
that's when I goes downhill in a hurry.
Yeah. It's like I just want to go home. I'm sweating because I'm
Yeah,
moving around all the time.
Yeah.
You're in a truck and you're sweating, and if you have somebody else with you, they're
Oh,
like,
I know.
turn the heat on. Like, hell no. The windows.
I'm hot. Yeah.
Yeah, windows
right.
down, snow going.
Yeah. Sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So yeah.
Nice.
Then the Mulch Mate, you mentioned it before. That's where we're at now. That thing is a beast. I love that.
Do you mind touching on a little bit more of the Mulch Mate trailer? I know Martin and I seen it in person, and I didn't think it was that big. It's a beast. Yeah.
You got to have a truck to pull it. We had to actually buy a dually truck to pull it. When we first got it, I didn't realize how heavy it was either. And there's another whole podcast we could do right there about trailer weights. I am now going to CDL school to get my Class 8 license because of the trailer weights laws that have changed.
Yeah.
In our state. I imagine every state's different, but
yeah.
So do you need that for hauling the mulch mate around?
We now need it for hauling any trailer that is 10,000 pounds or over, GVWR.
Really?
Okay, wow.
So now for that, you don't need the air brake endorsement, but you do have to get Class A. Take a test, take the written test, take a road test, do the pre-trip inspection, and pass all. So it's like getting your driver's license all over again. For towing any trailer that's 10,000 or over. So we are now doing that. Like our dual axle enclosed trailers for lawn mowing, they're a 7,000 pound trailer. They weren't.
Okay, problem. So they're under that. Just once you're getting into because I know you have the skid steer as well, so you probably needed to haul that around. And
yeah, that's coming. That's my next chapter in life. Hopefully,
that's the next one. And you just bought another dump trailer too, didn't you?
Yeah. A B-Wise, it's called.
Okay.
B-Wise dump trailer. It has a hydraulic gate on the back of it.
I was going to say, I thought I remember seeing that, which is pretty nice. You're not lugging steel ramps and all that anymore. So,
yeah.
No, that was horrible. Oh, my goodness. Well, you know how heavy those metal ramps are? They're coming out of a dump trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And you got to set them up several times a day. And then that piece of plywood, which is 3/4 inch plywood. And then there was cleats that we had stuck to the bottom of that would sit in the metal ramps for the equipment ramps. So it wouldn't slide up or down and go ski ride down the ramps on your mower. So that just heavy. And,
enough of that. Not getting any easier.
Yeah, it's heavy.
No.
Yeah, it was heavy. So yeah, got done. We're done with that nonsense. So
yeah,
found that trailer at a good price. I wanted one for a long time, but they were pricey. Found one on clearance and just grabbed it up. Finally,
nice.
Yeah.
And now, I know you do like a lot of your compost and stuff like that, but will you run because you don't really do like stone mulch or anything. It's all like either bark mulch or do you do much mulch through it?
I don't do any mulch.
Oh, you don't do any mulch. You don't do any maintenance either, do you?
We call it the compost meat, not the mulch meat.
Right.
Okay.
No,
so you just run just for your lawn rehab and stuff like that?
Yeah. There has never been anything in that trailer except for compost. We have never used it for anything other than compost.
Interesting.
I know it's heavy duty, and the tarp that it uses and the whole system can run rock through it. I know that, but we just don't have the need to.
Because that's one of the things we talked about for doing like brickwork and so to be able to run that and then fill your machines off that. But I was just seeing if you used it for anything besides the first-hand experience.
The guy's freaking genius. I gotta tell you. Nick, who runs Mulch Mate, owns Mulch Mate. I mean, the dump trailer. My hands are hurt. So the dump trailer, back up a little bit, and then the unit is mounted on the back of it. All right.
Yeah.
Now it has to pull the material into the unit, which is mounted on the back, and then it drops it onto a conveyor belt, which then shoots it out the side into your wheelbarrow or whatever you're using to catch the material.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how it does it is there's a roller wheel in the machine in the back, a horizontal one, and that's got a heavy duty ass tarp on that thing. So you're actually just spreading a tarp out in the base of your trailer, on the bed of your trailer.
Oh.
And then they have given you, it's a 12-foot box, but the tarp is like 30 feet long. So you can stretch that tarp out 30 feet, run it on the bed of your trailer, lay it over the nose of your trailer, and just drape it over the front. So you can run 2 types of material in there in the same day, is what I'm getting at, because you can load it with, I don't know, whatever you're doing, stone.
Yeah.
One customer's house. You go to the place, get your stone, they dump it in there. You can use 12 feet of that tarp, pulling the stone back into the machine, spinning it out into the wheelbarrow of your choice. And then you still have 15 more feet of tarp left. Now you just go back and get loaded up with mulch or whatever else you want to use. So it's brilliant. Like,
Yeah,
left
it's
tarp,
well designed.
like,
Yeah.
you don't have to unroll and reset and multiple times a day. You can just keep loading it, pull the tarp in, load some more, pull the rest of the tarp in, load some more, and pull more tarp in. It's an awesome machine. It really is. I post about it all the time. I'm not sponsored by that, but that thing is so freaking awesome.
It probably eliminates a whole lot of laborers as well.
It
Right?
eliminated 6 employees. I'm only kidding, but yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it for a second.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's just myself and my wife out there right now, and we have somebody down the road that I can use for help if need be.
Mhm.
That's
But
awesome.
that has eliminated all the labor force.
Yeah. So
Wow.
the money you spent on the trailer,
Yeah.
you make back pretty quick on the.
Dude, I made that bet. I hope none of our customers see this, but
Oh no.
the profit margin is huge. We made that money back in the first year.
Yeah.
See, that's
That trailer
awesome.
has paid for itself.
And with
Wow.
your lawn rehabs, I know you use the EcoLawn as well, right? The walk behind top dresser.
Yes.
And that also is a huge, because I bought one last year, and for doing like top dressing stuff, it saves so much. It's crazy the time it saves. And I'm sure you find the same way.
Yeah, I don't want to keep talking about the equipment, like promoting them or anything else, but we've seen multiple different top dressing machines. I'm trying to figure out how to word this properly. Approached by a couple of companies. Hands down, I think the EcoLawn is the best for the properties we do.
Yeah, for what you're doing. Yeah.
For our situation, there's other ones that you can tow behind,
Right.
big acreage or like golf courses, or another company down here that does some big commercial properties. They got some tow behind stuff, but the way it throws the compost out, because it has it's like a salt spreader. It's basically
Yeah, because you have the double. You have the 250, right?
I have the
Yours is
250.
yeah, so it has like the double rubber wheel on the front, the double paddle.
It's got the double.
Yeah. So
paddle.
mine's the 150. I have the single one, but still a thing. Like you still get that like nice even toss. It kind of puts down
you control it. And like when nobody understands, like there's another company out there that has a machine that just drops off the front.
Mhm.
And I'm sure it works for some situations, but you can't. It's all about the throw. Like you have to throw that compost into corners. And unless you're behind the machine and have done it before, one looks great and the other one looks great. But then when you're out there actually working with it, the EcoLawn just kicks ass over everybody, because you can control how far you're throwing the stuff out in front of you. Like when you get up to an air conditioning unit, or you're coming into some garage corner house situation where it's like this, and you can't get one of the other machines in there that just drops off the front.
Mm-hmm.
So now you need to stop and hand throw stuff into the corner. Whereas with the EcoLawn, depending on, maybe you don't know, I'm sorry, but depending on how fast the speed of the machine is going, that's controlling the wheel speed in the front of it. Sorry, my computer just told me I have a low battery. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, no worries.
So as you're controlling the speed, you can control how far that throw is going, and you just throw that product right into the corner. So it's all about the details. People are looking, oh, you missed a spot over here, or you didn't get in the corner over there. You don't
get that with the EcoLawn.
Get that.
No.
So,
yeah.
And I think it's a half a cubic yard hopper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Measured, but when we do it, we're loading the crap out of that thing. So I figure,
oh yeah,
it's mounted up and over the top and dropping off the sides. Sometimes we're going up the curbs, but so I think we're pulling probably 3/4 of a yard at a time with that thing. When it's mounted, heaped, overloaded, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So I believe we're probably about 3/4, maybe a little bit less than 3/4 of a yard.
And like
trip.
how Yeah, and how long does it take for that to spread that? It's like no time, right?
Takes no time, especially have that gate wide open.
Oh,
But sometimes when we're doing the first application or the yard is really bad and we're putting down a lot of compost, we'll have that gate wide open. The gate is the square in the front that the compost goes through. For those that don't know.
Yeah.
You push the lever and you can go from wide open to incrementals of how big the opening is to regulate the product flow. So when that gate's wide open, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's like a minute and the thing's empty. It's crazy.
Because you tried one this summer too, didn't you, Brandon?
I had a pretty big top dressing job. It was like 9 yards and it was really spread out. It was at a commercial building in St. Jacobs. And I thought this is perfect timing to rent this EcoLawn, right? So then I had Dad's little Kubota there. And I just dumped the whole yard, or, I dumped the 9 yards of compost and then I just hop on the Kubota, fill up the EcoLawn and then take it out. And I did that whole thing on my own in like half a day. And, you would probably need 3 guys there all day if I were to do it. Shoveling and wheelbarrowing, raking.
And you never get as good a finish either with like the shoveling. Because that's how we used to do it. We used to because that's one of our things here. We have a hard time getting bulk compost. So a lot of times we were buying bag. That's how we'd have to get it. So we'd buy a pallet or 2 or whatever, and we'd go around and then you have one guy dumping the bags out and it's in little piles, and you have 2 or 3 guys coming around with the rake and they're trying to smooth it. And you never get that
no, you can't get it so smooth.
You're not getting that even application. So some spots might have 3/4 of an inch, and then another spot might have an 8. So you just have it's just so that's the nice thing about it, right? You get that nice even application, and it just kind of
the results are amazing. Like just doing that whole service. I mean, just the basic aeration of a yard, and then composting it afterwards. And we use a leveling rake, the flat rake with the square tubes on it. We'll walk around with that just to force that compost down into those holes that were made by the aeration machine, and it gets down into the root system. The results are amazing. Like once we do one house on the street, we're usually on that street for a while, because then the neighbor comes out, and then 2 weeks later, the green grass is starting to come up, and they're seeing the result, and then everybody starts calling on that street. And we use nice yard signs too. This is like one of the few times I think yard signs actually help out, because you're putting it on the yard, and the people are walking by and driving, and they're passing that house because they're living on that street,
right?
And they're seeing the name get, the name, they say like repetition of 5 times, the name will stick in the head. So if they keep seeing the yard sign, then they see the grass growing nicely, better than their yard. And, they got to keep up with the Joneses. So now let's get my yard done. Let's give them a call. So it's grown tremendously. But like that Mulch Mate trailer, we would not have been able to grow to the size we are, or the level of properties that we can do
without
shoveling out of the back of a dump trailer. And hell no.
And that has the ramp spot on the front too, right? So you can take like all that, because I think it's a 6x6 box, I guess, or platform, I guess.
It's a 6-foot platform that we got. They have different options. I'm not sure what all their options are. I think you can get it without that platform in the front too, but I would never recommend that for anybody.
So you take your machine and stuff on there with it, like you put your
top dresser and the core aeration machine side by side on that platform in the front. So
what a combo.
Yeah, one-stop shop and away you go. Now, are you using like a walk-behind aerator?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. For a reason.
Yeah?
Yeah, because we're doing it. If I was doing it for maintenance reasons, just like doing aeration just for maintenance of a yard, I'd probably have a ride-on one by now.
Okay.
Because I do get tired of walking behind the machine, and it does beat you up a little bit. But also that getting beat up by the machine is good, because you can feel what's going on with the machine in your fingertips when you're walking behind it. We're all sand and clay down here, and most of the problems are caused by compacted soil.
Okay.
If there's a dead area or a not so good area, and there's a great area over here in someone's yard, I'd almost guarantee there's just a lot of clay in that spot. That's quite not growing so
compacted and kind of filled. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So walking behind the machine, and you can feel what's going on, because the tines are in the back of the machine as they're going down, like right where the handlebars are. You can feel the difference in the soil as you're going around. You can hear the difference. Tines are hitting into soil. So when we find those compacted areas, just kind of remember it on your next pass. Like, okay, let's just hit that area again.
Okay.
So just being able to feel it. And a lot of times I'm wearing earbuds or earphones because I don't want the noise.
Mhm.
You know, I have death messages anyway. So auto repair business was killer.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure it would be.
Those air guns and air chisels.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't always hear the machine, but I like to feel the machine. So I can
Yeah.
feel where the compacted part is and just go over that several times to break it up. And then you also remember that
Interesting.
spot and throw a lot more compost in that area as opposed to some of the other areas.
It's just a lot
But
more.
yeah, to answer your question, that's why we use the walk behind one, because of
Okay.
the detail that we can feel.
Mhm.
And again, like throwing the compost into the corners, we're talking about details.
Yeah.
The handheld one is hydraulically, so I can just back it into corners or pull right up onto something and be able to get right back out of there. So I've gotten good at it where I can go into a corner, go to the right, and then back into the corner again. And now you've gotten every piece of that, like almost
Yeah, there's nothing missed.
6 inches of the
Mhm.
wall.
Nice.
Whereas a rod on one, you could never
Yeah, you're never going to get that exact.
don't get that. And we're doing it for a reason. This is like a purpose aeration. We're aerating the hell out of the yard.
Mhm.
Okay.
Make receptacles to accept all that compost we're going to put down. It's just not like if there's a maintenance aspect that we're doing it for, a yearly aeration.
Yeah.
I would ride it. But for what we're doing, I feel
You're doing more of a restoration than a maintenance type
I
of
just
deal.
want to feel what's going on with the soil. So it's all soil problems. We're just dealing with soil issues.
Mhm.
Right.
We're not worrying about pests or fertilizers or anything like that. We're just
Okay.
building soil.
Buildings. Okay.
You know, we're building like a farmer does. You know, they turn
Yeah.
their soil over or mix compost in there for the next
Mhm.
farm crop that's coming up.
Right. Cool.
That's our deal. That's what we do.
Okay.
And we're doing a hell of a lot of it. So if anybody's looking at that stuff and thinking about it, we talk to a lot of people. Huh?
Yeah.
We talk to a lot of people through Instagram messaging, Facebook, and all that stuff. The biggest thing you have to worry about, and you mentioned it earlier, Martin, is a good supply of compost. Because as you found out, Brandon, you go through a hell of a lot with it.
Yeah.
Yep. You
Real
do.
quick.
Have a good local, fresh compost supply. And
Yes.
doing it by bag is hard.
Yep. We
You know,
still do. Even with our EcoLawn, we still do. We ended up, we tracked down a guy who sells it by bales. So that's a little easier. So it's like probably a 3-4 cubic foot bale.
those big white square bag kind of thing.
Yeah, it's similar to that. It's kind of like a plastic wrap, kind of air sealed, and then it comes in. We buy it by the pallet. We in the spring we'll go, and it's nice that way. It makes it easy to take around with us because we can stick 3 pallets on a trailer, and then you have enough to do a decent amount. So you just kind of cut it, drop it in, and then the little auger in it, bust it up. So it's not too bad, but it's
Nice.
kind of what we have to make. I'd love to find somebody here selling a nice compost, but
that's why we're so fortunate. And I know we're fortunate, and that's probably the only reason that we are doing so well with it here. Like, I don't know if too many other areas could excel to the quantity and level. 15 minutes right down like this way, 15 minutes that way is the compost facility. And then 20 minutes in the other direction is another compost making facility. So down here,
it's everywhere.
what peat moss pits are, that's where they're making the compost. And so all the compost that's good, like Black Cow is a cow manure-based compost, which is good for gardens. You don't want to throw that on your lawn.
Mm-hmm.
But and then there's another product that's called Command. That's a well-known compost because it's designed for yards. And they have their own process where they inoculate the compost with all the bacteria and microbes that are supposed to be in your soil.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not from years and years of pest control sprays.
Right.
It's all made right here. It's like literally 10 minutes down the road. So we just get dump trucks of it just delivered to our yard here and dumped. And then we just use a skid steer and load it in to our Mulch Mate. But I think that's part of the reason we have an unlimited supply of compost for the most part. Let's say one low.
Mm-hmm.
Unlimited supply of customers, and insane growth here. So it's
the perfect storm for it.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just a very unique way that we're in. So I don't want to give people like false hopes of like doing this.
Yeah, doing this. And well, like I said, I would never be able to do that. Like we wouldn't be able to sustain the supply of it.
That's the problem. I mean, we have.
If you're able to go 20
Right.
minutes, I'd have to go hours probably to find like a decent supply of it, and then I'd have to get it trucked in. And by the time you do that, the cost is
Yeah.
through the roof.
135 yards of compost in our backyard right now, and we can get all we want if I made a phone call and get more delivered. So
Yeah, you can probably have that
Don't
delivered
have to
by the
worry
end of the
about
week. Yeah.
So like
That's huge.
the customer calls, say, hey, I want my yard done, and I'm like, all right, no problem. If I'm low on compost, I can say no problem. I'll get you next week because I know I'll have a compost supply.
Right.
So it makes that aspect of supply. That's the hardest thing. And I've talked about that's where I started with this. We talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people have decided not to do it because they don't have a good compost supply.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it makes it tough without it, right? You kind of limit.
Watch somebody do your homework and make sure you have compost supply.
Yeah.
a good compost.
Good compost.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know
awesome.
The other name, there's a compost that's not so good out there.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
like,
that's-
do you have that like tested at all, like when you're getting it, or is it just kind of so it's a company that makes it? Is it the compost that you're buying?
Yeah, company.
Yeah.
makes
Okay. Yeah. So it's like a test. They're doing all that stuff. It's
it.
not
Yeah,
kind
that
of like
facility is awesome. So automated, and they make compost for other companies. We go to their plant where they package it all. I don't know what you call it, but there's multiple brands on pallets, all coming out of this one facility. And we started talking to the people, and they all have their own recipe that they want.
gotcha.
Like a little bit of peat moss, a little bit of compost, a little bit of coconut coir. So all these composts are all coming out of, well, not all of them, but a lot of them are coming out of this one plant. And then, but life
Just kind
soils,
of modify it to kind of
and
send
then,
it to the different brand or whatever.
then the company we buy it from is actually the owner. It is
It's like the producer of it.
the parent company. Yeah.
So is there anything you're looking for in your? I know you mentioned like peat moss and a few things like that. Is there any kind of like specific ratio you're looking, like something with a little more peat, a little less, a little different types of manure, or just kind of
No
the
manure.
blend? No manure. Okay.
No manure. For lawn work, manure based is okay. Like if that's all you have access to, use it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. Well, there's some stuff wrong with it, but it's better than nothing.
Mhm.
The problem is that manure based compost, many times, I can't say all the time, I don't want to get sued by somebody, but has a high potential to have weed seeds in it because
From their diet.
From their diet.
Yeah.
And the cow's stomach doesn't process that stuff. It eats the weeds off the farmer's field, poops them out into the crap. It does not get sterilized in that process. And then a lot of times when it gets to the compost pile at the facility, the compost piles aren't getting hot enough
To kill it off.
to sterilize that weed seed. Then
Right.
it goes into the bag. And then also the other thing that we have learned from dealing with IFAS, which is the University of Florida here, a lot of times compost in bags, manure-based stuff, will have a little bit of an herbicide left inside of it from that farmer's field. And the whole same problem with the process is they're spraying their field with an herbicide to kill the weeds down to get the grass to grow for cows to eat. But same thing, the cow's stomach just passes, or four stomachs or whatever they have, it just passes it all through. And then it gets picked up to go to the compost facility. Again, it doesn't get hot enough or it doesn't totally burn off. And then when you're trying to recover a yard and you get those tiny little grass sprouts coming up, it could be potentially enough there to burn that little grass sprout and damage it and stop it from growing again.
So I never really thought of that. That's a good point.
Yeah,
On
if you look
at
at
it.
there's a brand name out there. I don't know if it's up in your area, and I don't want to say it, but look at the bag for a very popular cow manure-based compost. It never says anything about lawn use on it. It only says talk about garden use, vegetable gardens. It's all good for that.
Yeah.
But for the reasons of weed seeds and possible herbicides, it's better off to find a
because I guess they would have to let that.
Yeah. So it's all sticks,
Interesting.
grass, leaves, turned over, food waste. Peat moss gets mixed into it, I believe. I don't even know what's in the recipe.
Yeah, just kind of you just know to kind of stay away from the manure base,
Stay away from
if possible.
If possible, yeah.
Right.
It's a good option, but there are better options if it's available to you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
For sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's super. Like
That's
I would
awesome.
have never.
That's what I'm talking about.
I would have never gone that far down the rabbit hole with, compost, but that's what we're all about.
You don't know it until you're
Love
in it.
it.
And then we start talking to people. Then we
Don't
we
even
have
think
some
of that.
contacts with the University of Florida and their
Huh.
gardening division. And then the sales rep for Life Soils started giving us some paperwork and pamphlets and just understanding more and more. And then they're very involved with the counties in this area because the more you compost, the less water you can use. And there's a big problem with water usage down here with the number of houses that are moving in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of talk about giving subsidies to residents to have their house composted and top dressed for the aspect of less irrigation.
Water consumption.
usage.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
So just
Okay.
being involved with all that stuff, and then the topics come up of types of compost. Just being around all that, you just start to learn more and more. When you're in it, you just start to learn more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
right.
kinda
It's like,
keep
wow.
diving deep, just like this. I just learned now about the
Yeah.
herbicide part. I
Learned
would have
something
never
new today.
I said, yep. And that's what you
I
want,
love
right?
it.
That's why we want to do this.
Yeah.
People that
Oh,
might not never even thought of doing this sort of service that
Yep.
now they can, right? Or at least look into the idea of it. But
It makes a
Totally.
big difference. It really does.
Mhm.
Any yards that stress them out for whatever reasons, compost, you'd
Yeah.
be amazed. Like 3 weeks later, just the
That's cool.
fast response because you're getting that stuff down into the root system.
Mhm.
Then we're actually telling the customer to water it in for 3 days in a row afterwards, just to wash it all in there.
Nice.
When compost gets wet, it starts to release all the nutrients out of it. And an old farmer's trick, and I don't know, I'll talk all day about this. An old farmer's trick was to take a bag of compost and like pantyhose or cheesecloth, take that compost and put it in there, and then put that into the watering can bucket, and it would make compost tea. And so now that tea bag of compost is in the watering can, and they get all that nutrients is coming out of the compost and making a really nutrient-rich water. So that's what we're trying to accomplish by telling the customer to water it in multiple days.
Okay.
Right after we do the application. They do it for like 3 days, 4 days. It depends on the season.
Right.
Then we say go back to your normal watering schedule. But we're trying to make that compost tea, get all the nutrients to start leaching into the soil. And I'm telling you, man, like 3 weeks later, oof,
You're noticing some
That's
big
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, because I
Cool.
kind of toiled with the idea of, because like there is ways to make like your compost tea with like your aerator and that sort of stuff,
Yep.
like in a 55-gallon drum. So I kind of toyed with it for a little while. I made one, was it last year or 2 years ago? I kind of made, and then no one even knew what the hell I was talking about customer wise. They didn't want to, they basically just thought I was spraying dirty water and they wanted nothing to, but it definitely has those benefits of it, right? So it's kind of,
absolutely.
yeah.
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 Then we have a couple of secret products that we put down, like we call it our secret sauce. That it's a product that's all like seaweed and all natural
Nice.
stuff. We don't use any chemical based stuff. It's all natural. It's got like kelp and seaweed and some other humates and humic acid.
Mhm.
Humic acid is what makes all the nutrients able to be used by the grass. That's the
Yeah,
purpose.
more readily available. Yeah.
Right.
So we do that as well. Yeah, so we use that as well, and we'll do like our sometimes when we'll do like our sprays and stuff, we'll do that and kind of blend it in so that we mix a bit in the tank. So then when it's absorbing that, we do that with Fiesta as well, like our weed spray that we're allowed to use up here. Like we do that, and then it allows it to kind of
look at that.
absorb it more efficiently.
Mhm.
Yeah,
and
so
kind of
that's,
help
that's,
with
that's
the
the spray that we
effectiveness.
use. Then we also use a little granular, like
Okay.
a biochar almost. But it's all the earth elements
Mhm.
that I had trouble explaining it, but I know it in my head. Like all the elements that need to be in the soil to make it a good soil that aren't in that sand and clay.
Mhm.
It's all in that little pellet, and so it's slow release, and it's just starting to feed. It's just it's building the soil structure into a
It's kind
usable
of like a lot of like micronutrients and stuff, is it?
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
It's not really nutrients. I guess it is used. Yeah, well, iron's used as a nutrient to make it
Yeah,
green.
so it'd be like ironing, like your
Yeah, it's
necessarily
all
calcium
right.
and magnesium and all that sort of stuff, isn't it? Like
Probably.
something along that. Yeah. So it's just kind of like
Okay.
a blend, kind of like a soil enhancer.
yeah. It's all mixed into a biochar. It's all mixed in
Mhm.
together with that, and then once we started using that, then we're like, holy crap!
Yeah, the results just keep getting crazier
Yeah.
and crazier.
That's
The
awesome.
more we learn, the more we do, and it's like, man.
I was
Yeah.
going to ask you how you market it, but it seems you don't really have to kind of market itself by the sound. But you do use your yard signs and whatnot. But
Yeah, the yard signs are our biggest
Mhm.
Yeah.
form of marketing. That's all we need to do. We don't really advertise too much. I have a Yelp ad on just to keep our name out.
Yeah, just kind of
Right.
keep refreshing it.
To the zip code that we do.
Mhm.
Like we're not blasting everywhere. So we have a Yelp ad out there. That's about it, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
And then like
all
little
of our
social media and stuff like that, and away you go.
social media is more worldwide.
Yeah.
I don't think we get too much traffic
Okay.
locally off of Instagram or anything like that.
Mhm.
And then our biggest source of leads is the other fertilizer companies out there that
Referring
get
you.
onto a yard that
Nice.
looks like hell because it hasn't been done properly for so long. They ask the customer to call us and just do all that work, just build the soil for them, do the composting, do the aeration, put that pelletized elements down, and then we do the liquid spray. Like we're just whole building
package.
foundation. Yeah, we call it foundation building. I'm not ever going to advertise ourselves as a fertilizing company. So I don't want to step on their toes because we're not really fertilizing the yard. In a way we are, but we're not really.
Right.
So we are the foundation builders, how I explain it. Like nobody can build a good house on a bad foundation, just like you can't build a good yard without good soil.
There's no point fertilizer is not going to do a whole lot if the rest of if your base isn't good, right? So it works well for the fertilizer company as well.
Because it does. Like we're making their success possible. There's so many fertilizer companies down here. The customers will just change them like they change their underwear. Oh, my yard looks like hell after 3 months. This guy's being on my yard. I'm going to change you. You don't know what you're doing. But the problem is the soil is so bad, none of them are going to look good unless they build that soil. So it's not the company's fault.
Yeah.
It's not the technician's fault. Most of the time, it's not the company, not the technician. It's just nobody can win with the bad soil structure.
With your sandy soil.
It's all getting recognized over the last few years. So now we're just rolling in, and all these fertilizer companies are having us come in first to do our soil building. And then we're setting them up for success and something to build off of from there.
Nice.
So that's how we get that's how you're asking where we get a lot of our leads from, all from these other companies referring us.
Nice.
And then they just kind of take over.
Then the lawn signs take over, and then
so it's just basically they get you in the neighborhood, and then you just roll with it and take over from there.
Yeah, it sells itself, really.
We're a little scared for this coming year because we have so much work from last year that we do a second application again this coming year. And then all winter long, we've been getting a ton of phone calls, and I'm doing estimates a lot. And okay, we'll see you in March or April, but I don't know if we have enough time in March or April to do all the work that we.
The days are never long enough.
Well,
yeah.
I keep laughing. We're gonna have to get a Mulch Mate trailer, another one, but I just don't want to go down that road again.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well, then you need someone else to run it, and then you're getting yourself back into the labor problem where it's just sometimes you're better off
there sounding better and better, eh, boys?
Get a few weeks in the winter. Get down there. Get
I wouldn't mind that
8-week helping hand.
I'll help you. Go from this weather to sunny. I know it's not super warm, but
March through August, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's a different story. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, that's when I got to be here.
Yeah. Get back and get the season kicking off.
I know. No, that's good. Nice. Okay, cool, Tom. Do you got any future plans or goals? I guess the top dressing part of your business is kind of the future, but.
Yeah, I want to. We bought the new skid steer. We bought a new one 4 or 5 months ago, I guess. We had an older one. And with the amount of work that we were doing, and that skid steer has to work. It's just there's no chance of it breaking down or blowing a line. And what was happening was some issues were starting to happen with the older one that we had. So between having to have reliable equipment and then somewhere down the road, I really want to get into doing some light duty land clearing, some driveway work. Because a lot of the driveways in our area are lime rock stone. Or gravel, like 50, I think you call it 57 stone, stuff like that. Not paving. It's all dirt work and lime rock work down here. So I would love to get into that down the road. Just use that as skid steer some more. Get off of some properties in a few years. Nice. Then we're also we made some contacts for doing some FEMA work. do you know what FEMA is up there? I don't know. It's
No.
our emergency management assistant.
Okay.
Like when we have a hurricane blow through here,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
the
Yep.
government side of all the assistance is called FEMA.
Okay.
Federal Emergency
Manage.
something
Yeah.
or agency. So because we're in the land of hurricanes and tornadoes, and there's always major catastrophes, and they need people to go out there with their excavators and skid steers and clean up and do that initial road opening. So the power line companies get in there. We made some contacts with that, so we're gearing up for that. And that's the other reason I needed to get my license, to be able to cross state lines legally,
Okay.
do all that
Cool.
stuff. So I'm just getting all my ducks in a row,
Yeah.
slowly. Just trying to figure out what I want to do next.
Nice.
I tend to have about a 8 to 10 year attention span.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Switch it up after.
I reinvented myself a few times. I was an auto
Yeah.
mechanic. And I was a tractor trailer driver. And then we did lawn mowing, and now we're doing the lawn rehab work. And now I'm starting to lean towards this skid steer work. So
Back
we
to
bought
the truck driving.
No, I'll never do that.
No, I know. Yeah.
I mean, that was good money, I'll tell you that. But that world gets real small in that cab when you're in that cab all day long.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Not for me. But we ended up buying a tilt flatbed truck.
Yep.
Hydraulic
Tilt
thing.
deck. Yep.
Nice.
Tilt deck. Oh yeah. Just for the purpose of doing the FEMA work when the hurricanes come through, so you can back the skid steer off real fast. Don't have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
set ramps
You're
up
not,
and all that
yeah,
shit.
not doing
Which is
ramps and
nice.
this
You're
and that.
going down the road, you pull up to a tree that's knocked down, and get the
Okay.
skid steer
Hop
off.
out.
hop out, just drive it right off the trailer, push it
Nice.
off to the side, get back on the trailer, go to the next one. So they were gearing up for that.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
nice.
chainsaws and the protective gear for chainsaw work. So they have a whole checklist of stuff you have to have.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Oh, that's
over the
cool.
last 6 months or so, we've just been slowly working towards being able to do that work too.
Nice.
You're a busy man.
And that plays into the part of the reason why we wanted to let go of the lawn mowing business, because that was so structured. You had to be here
Yeah.
every week. There was no chance of not mowing a customer because you're out doing storm recovery work.
Right.
So it just wasn't fitting into our future goals as far as having time to do what we want to do when we want to do it. So that was the reason for selling it all.
Nice. Sounds like
Now,
a
the
good decision.
mowing's nice. It just takes up so much much time. Like I said, it's every week. And the customer doesn't care if you're gone somewhere else doing work. If their lawn's supposed to be cut Thursday at 3, they want their lawn cut Thursday afternoon.
Stories about that nonsense.
Yeah.
A hurricane came through here 2 days ago. Why aren't you out here mowing my yard right now? Because it's a freaking swamp. What are you talking about? You're supposed to be here on Monday. It was raining on Monday.
Yeah. They don't seem to
that's
care
hilarious.
or get it, right? So,
Hello?
yeah. The joys of dealing with customers
Going
sometimes.
on in there.
Like I said, I
that's
hope
good.
customers watch this, but yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to your common sense? Did it go out the window?
Yeah.
Yeah.
it might have,
I think it did. A lot of it did.
disappeared a bit.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's like, it rains for 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the Monday customer's like, well, why didn't you mow my yard? Because by Thursday it's sunny out. And they're like, well, where are you? It's like,
Yeah.
there's 300 people ahead of you. We'll be there, I promise. But
We'll get there, but
learn
I
to stand
know.
in line, please.
Yeah.
Wait your turn.
Yeah.
that's
Goodness.
crazy.
But all that's gone. It's done.
Yeah.
Yep. One
That's
big old
stressful.
bag of stress gone.
Dude, that
Yeah.
elephant is on my chest. I would sit in the recliner out there watching TV at night, and when you own your business,
Oh, yeah.
and there's so much work to get done, you're constantly calculating. I'd lay in bed like, okay, it's going to rain Thursday and Friday. How are we going to run the crews? How are we going to move the trucks?
Yeah.
What neighborhood are we going to be able to do because it's holding water? We know there's certain neighborhoods that hold more water than other neighborhoods. It's like it just never stops. It's always going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No
My
off button.
chest was always so tight. I can't explain. Like there's an elephant always on your chest because it's holding that
Yeah.
anxiety all the time.
Yeah.
It's slowly dissipating. It's just like
Nice.
again.
I
It's
can
nice.
breathe.
It is nice.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
Be
get
able
to
to
that point, Martin, someday.
Maybe. I think I got a ways left for that one.
For now, we're hitting the lawns hard.
Hitting lawns and everything else in between.
Yes,
we had
exactly.
we owned an auto repair shop and a gas station for a number of years, and we came down here. We've owned this for 16 years, so we put in our time.
No kidding.
We planned for it. Everything is paid off. House is paid off.
That's good. Well, you deserve to be in the spot you're in now. So
the skid steer's not paid off.
No. New equipment's definitely pricey.
Yes.
Yeah, everything has gone pretty wild, but
yeah, it went from 80 to 100 like that.
Yep. Yeah, we were talking about that. Me and Brandon were talking about tractors earlier. Same thing.
Yeah.
Like the price in 3 years, one of my tractors have gone up $30,000.
Yeah,
and like the same machine, same everything, but it is what it is, right? It's just
it's the same thing with the mowing equipment too. Since we're talking about mowing stuff, what's on this? I don't know if you can raise your prices fast enough.
I know.
To keep up with the increases in payroll, the increases in insurance. Our truck insurance doubled in 1 year. Mm-hmm. No accidents, no reason.
Wow.
I mean, Florida, we're in a bad state as far as insurance problems right now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But like our truck insurance pretty much doubled. The liability insurance went up like 40%. Payroll went up 40% over the last 2 or 3 years just because
you need people to work.
Somebody's higher and higher and higher.
Yep.
Yeah.
In a 2-year period of all those increases, plus fuel, plus the cost of equipment and the cost of blades and string, everything has gone crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You cannot. So the profit margin was coming down and down and down and down too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, not to the point where it wasn't worth it anymore. But I don't know if a company, and I'm sure there's guys out there who say, yeah, you can do it, but I don't know if you can legitimately raise your prices fast enough to keep up with that level of an increase and still hold on to those customers. Because there's enough people out there who'll be like, nah, I'll just get the
cheap guy
down the road, or Mr. Meth Head who lives across the street to come in and mow their lawn. Like, good luck with that.
And then you get what you pay for.
Yeah,
but no, it's tough.
Yeah, we don't go backwards. Like once a customer tells us to go away, we never went backwards. We would never go back.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
No, that makes.
But again, we're in an area where there's so much growth. We have the option of saying that.
Right.
If you're going to let me go, there's 10 more people that are waiting for us. So
your spot's gone.
See you never.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely nice to be in a market like that's available for that, right? That you're able to kind of and we're kind of getting to the point now. Like we've done our mowing. Like we kind of maxed out our one crew. We run 2 guys. That's how we do it. But we're kind of picking and choosing now which lawns we want. Like we only run like stand-up mowers. We don't push mow. So if it's more than, if you have a hill we can't get in, we're not going to take it. If we have a gate, if our mower doesn't fit, so you kind of get to the point where you're able to kind of pick and choose.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is. It's nice. But then you kind of get to the point where you got to keep growing it, and then then you got to start that whole second crew over again, kind of picking and choosing. But
no, that's good.
It's a hard point to stop to learn when to say no more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so we had to shut down the lawn mowing customer-based growth. Like we just stopped. Like no more. Like that was about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. If the neighbor next to a house that we already have asked to come on, we'd say, sure, we'll take you on. But moving into new areas, like I was saying, the growth is just miles and miles. Building houses. It's like, no, we're not moving into that new area down there. Sorry. No, we're not going over there. We just pretty much found that spot.
Yeah.
The route was built. We would just add houses within that route next to the block of houses that we already had.
Nice.
And
nothing wrong with that.
That's got to control the growth, because if you don't control the growth, I've seen so many guys come in and do it. Like I said, we've been here for 16 years, so we're kind of like the godfathers of lawn mowing in this area.
The lawn fathers.
But I've seen thousands come and go, literally.
Yeah.
But they just grow too fast. Don't learn how to walk before they try running.
The quality goes down, and then they don't last.
Just started. He's bought a new truck, a brand new work truck. I'm like, dude, you just got started. Like, I know you don't have any capital behind you in the bank. What are you doing?
Right.
It's just like, oh, that was a big mistake. So that's like advice to other people that are just getting started. Like, learn to walk. Let the business pay for your equipment. Don't take it out of your savings and pay for it.
Perfect.
and grow in steps, because if you don't learn the steps, you're going to make mistakes. Like, I made so many mistakes. I pissed so many people off, but you learn from those mistakes. If you just try to go balls to the wall right in the beginning, you don't learn some of the stuff here where it really doesn't matter, where you can take advantage of that and use it when you're up here and look even more professional and be the go-to company, as like coming in here and then just falling apart and then just crashing right away. And that's what I see happen a lot. Because there's so much work in here, you can take a lot of customers really fast, but they don't know how to run the business, how to run the books, how to answer the phone,
Right.
how to deal with a problem. Hey, you broke a window. Like, how do you deal with that? You have to learn how to deal with that, how to talk to the customer, how to,
in those easy beginning stages.
yeah.
And then you kind of grow with it, right? Versus,
So now when someone says, hey, your window got broke, like, all right, no problem. Here's what we do.
yeah, here's the plan. You have it all in place.
It's
And
not like this major ordeal. Like, oh my God, y'all broke a window. What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
What do we do? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's going to cost me $700. No, it doesn't.
No.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So
have that all
you
in
need
place.
to learn how to deal with the mowing the lawn is the easy part. That's the
The fun
brainless
part.
Like, yeah, it is, and you get the
Yeah.
satisfaction of seeing the results right away.
Yeah.
It's the running the business that's the hard part. Dealing with the customers is even harder, and then knowing what to do when there is a problem, that's the hardest part. So you need to learn all of that in steps.
In
before you
between.
jump up.
Yeah.
I don't know what question was that. Like, how do you grow?
Nice. Yeah. Oh, that's some
Don't-
good advice.
Both feet in there. Just learn.
Yeah.
Watch
Learn,
other
ask
people.
questions.
Ask
Yeah.
questions. People, when we had the auto repair business, we just had taken that over. That's when I learned that people will always talk to you about their business if you're starting in that business. Everybody wants to help somebody else come into that business.
Yeah.
Not everybody, like 90% of people will help out.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you're getting into the business and you're just starting out and you know somebody else has been in the business for a while, just talk to that person, ask questions, because they will most likely tell you more than what you want to know.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
I've done that. Some of our employees in the past have left and started their own companies, and we've helped them and still talk to some of them to this day and feed them some work, because we'll get a call like, nah, call.
So and so, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And that's the nice thing about social media too, right? That is one of the benefits. Like, there's so many people that you can reach out and just
Well, that's actually
ask a question to.
That's starting to happen now with the top dressing work, because, and this is coming from Instagram actually, because I had mentioned before, we don't get a lot of work from that. We do get some calls off of Instagram saying, hey, I saw your video. We're in Florida. Do you work in this area? And I can now say, we don't work in that area, but I know who does work in that area and uses the command
Nice.
compost that we use. Like, we've made that network of people.
That can help. And then it
Much
makes you look really good to the
farm.
customer too, right? That you we don't do it, but here's
know.
somebody that I recommend to do it that would do
Use the same products, use
Yeah.
the same equipment.
Nice.
same quality job in that area that's not provided by you.
And some of those people were found just by Instagram contacts and going back and forth that way and talking with the compost supplier. If somebody calls me and says, I have a job over in Tampa, do you want to do it? And I'm like, I don't need to travel that far.
Right.
I can call the compost company that we use and say, hey, is there anybody in Tampa that uses your product that you could recommend?
Mhm.
And you'd be like, oh yeah, Cardinal
Right.
Solutions is awesome over there. Recommend those guys. And I'm like, oh, all right. So I call the customer back. Hey, I got a name and contact for you here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and it's worked in the other way too. Like, we've gotten work from other companies in Florida, sending them up our way.
Yeah. Of people that are in that area. And
So I guess that network does work.
yeah.
That aspect of it, but
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
I guess
awesome.
that's how we all met too. Social
Yep.
media.
Yep.
So like I said, there's definitely lots
How,
of, there's always
oh, yeah.
downsides of it, but there's definitely a lot of good side to it
yeah.
Oh,
as
yeah.
well.
Yep.
So-
Downs and ups. So, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, Tom. We really
That was
appreciate
awesome.
it.
Oh,
and I'm
that's
sure-
fun.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
That was more. Come on.
Oh yeah, we'll do another one. We'll be doing another one with you.
Yeah, we'll definitely
that's
have you
good.
back on for sure. But so for anybody that's like on social media and stuff, because we will post this stuff, want to give a shout out where you could like find you at and kind of reach out, maybe talk to you, check out your page, your setups and all that stuff.
Yeah, everything we do is under the name Oxford Lawn. If you just search, we have some YouTube videos.
Nice.
We get into that. We get out of that. We get into that. That's a lot of work.
Join the
Instagram.
club.
Yeah.
There's another whole.
That's another episode.
I uploaded a video the other day, and I realized I had edited it wrong, and I didn't watch it the whole way through, and the whole piece of it was offset on the screen.
Oh,
and then the words, the sound wasn't lining up with the video parts. I had taken a piece out, but I forgot to slide the other piece over. And I was like, oh, God, you idiot.
Yeah, I know.
So I had to delete that one and then fix it again and re-upload it again.
Yeah.
And then
You're 20 hours in.
Yeah, for a 10-minute video.
Yeah, I know the pain. I know.
So, our name is Oxford Lawn everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. If you just search Oxford Lawn, all of our stuff will come up.
Nice.
And if anybody's interested in our processes for lawn rehab work, if you're thinking about getting into it, go onto YouTube. We have 4 videos, I think it is. We did the videos for our website to tell the customer to go watch the videos and learn what we're doing, how we're doing it. You can see us using the equipment and how one process ties into the next step. But we actually put all those videos on YouTube as well. So they're available. So if anybody wants to learn like how we do it, because the steps work, it's a great business to get into if you're thinking about it.
Nice.
There's some lawn rehab videos. I think we have a playlist called Lawn Rehab. If not,
Perfect.
Awesome.
Awesome. We'll be checking those out too.
Yeah, it just shows us doing the detaching and shortcutting. It shows us doing the aeration and the machine that we use and why we use it. And then the whole Mulch Mate trailer and top dresser and composting.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
sweet.
That's super informative, and we will definitely have you back on. Like I said, there's lots to talk about, and you know your stuff. So
Yep, you definitely do. So awesome, Tom. Good chatting with you.
It's great to see your faces on the screen again.
Yeah, I know. It's been a while, so I love it. Yeah. All right.
All right, man.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Talk to you later. See you later.
Yeah, sounds good.
We want to thank you for listening to the Crooked Stripes podcast. If you like this episode of the pod, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated. Head over to Instagram and follow @The Crooked Stripes. From there, stay up to date on all things lawn, landscaping, and snow removal. Don't forget to join us next week for another episode of The Crooked Stripes. Thanks again for listening.